Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Casper. Obviously, within the market, we are seeing that 53K test, which I love to see personally. We've been waiting for 53K on Bitcoin for a fairly long time, and I'm finally happy to see it actually come to fruition. Now, we've been watching Bitcoin very closely. Now we are seeing a huge bleed throughout the market with, Bitcoin dominance ranging to about 42%. Nothing too crazy there. And a lot of alts are taking massive hits. And you guys already know what's going on with Casper. So, with Casper, I've always said it's one of the strongest altcoins in this market. In fact, we are still up in terms of percentage gains. Now, if you did buy the dip today, you would have been buying at around 1488. I do know that there was a few. I know on some exchanges, like I know on Uphold, we were down to like it had to be like something like 13 cents or 14 cents, something like that. I know it's not going to show it on here, but I remember it was like 14 something. And that was pretty much this low here, which I suppose 1488 was pretty much the low there. That wasn't a too bad of an entry point, to be honest with you guys. I just didn't buy at that point because I want 13 cents at least to actually re-enter, because I've already bought the dip twice already on Casper, which I've told you guys about in the Discord, as well as I said it on Twitter as well. And the upside potential here is extremely high. We already hit about 1856 cents today, which is absolutely crazy, which tells me the next major run on Bitcoin is going to allow us to break that key resistance that we've been watching for, which would obviously allow us to have some more upward potential. Now, with that being said, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on. Also, if you guys are new or not new, definitely hit that like button, as it does help the channel grow. Also, I am having the sale on the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack today only. This is only for today, 20% off. The sale will be ending, and I will be having a new one this weekend, so definitely keep a close eye out on that. Now, when we're talking about Casper, is now a good time to buy it? Would I personally buy it? No. I've already told you guys my entry points. I told you guys when to buy. I told you guys when I bought. That was pretty much the perfect time to buy. But we are still very early. But I'm not going to tell you guys to buy, because I know that there's a few other opportunities out there that could possibly give you gains faster. But I will say this: Casper is extremely undervalued at its current levels. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what Casper's building, okay, they are building incredible things. I've always compared it to Ethereum with Ethereum 3.0. For an example, Kevin Cage here, don't insult Casper by saying it's just Ethereum 3.0 with lower gas fees. It brings so much more to the table, and he's even giving a shout out to Ghost Staking. Incredible individual as well, with great insights. And in fact, we're going to be reading this insight for blockchains for enterprise, talking about Casper. We do see why the Casper blockchain enterprise focus strategy is right on the money. The next truly big evolution in the blockchain space will be the mass adoption of enterprise, and enterprise is growing. Institutional investor pretty much adoption's growing as well. Right now, currently within crypto, utility is driving a lot of success, not in terms of price action, but in terms of just company evolvement as well as ecosystem growth. Now, with Casper, I've talked about this article in the past, but we've never talked about what the major use cases could come from Casper. We talked about the benefits or the characteristics of privacy, transparency, permissionless, integrity, accountability, immutable, scalability, trust anchor, all that kind of stuff. But here is essentially, why do blockchains make sense? They're talking about, does data need to be stored? No, if no data needs to be stored, then there is no requirement for a ledger. How many writers are required? Is there a trusted third party? Are all the writers known? Do all the writers trust each other? Here's the kind of breakdown of it. And then here is the real world examples. We see interbank and international payments. Of course, we always talk about that. Supply chain management, which we know that Casper's focusing on supply chain, solutions, especially with Quest and stuff like that. Equity share listing, land titles, healthcare logistics. And here's the current market. According to Deloitte's 2018 Global Blockchain Survey, 29% of businesses polled stated that they've already joined a blockchain consortium. 45% stated that they are likely to join one within the next year, and 13% say they're interested in starting a consortium of their own. And then, of course, in many cases, consortium members are fierce competitors. For an example, Bank of America, Citi, Barclays, Morgan Stanley, and other multinational banking institutions are members of the R3 consortium or consortium. So when we're talking about this, right, what are their focus, right? Because by working at a consortia or a consortia level, these businesses share cost, create unified industry standards, and expedite innovation by leveraging scale. Of course, here's the Global Shipping Business Network, Media Ledger, TradeLens, B3i, Trust IoT Alliance, Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, and then Hyperledger and all that kind of stuff, right? This is all of those consortiums. Now, with this, we always talk about what is going to happen at scale. And we talk about Ethereum, we talk about Hyperledger Fabric, we talk about everything, but we never talked about how Casper fills the blocks, right? And here we go. Casper is a full layer 1 blockchain, which we already discussed. We talked about how crazy this actually is if you look at it compared to Ethereum. But we do see here that this means that it will serve as its own public and permission blockchain. This is unlike enterprise Ethereum blockchains, which are effectively clones and modifications of the Ethereum code base. Of course, we do see here Casper has the option to switch from permission to public. The Casper Layer 1 blockchains is currently POS. The Casper Layer 1 blockchain's driving feature is the consensus and highway protocol, which we've talked about, and we talked about how crazy that actually is. Like I said, always comparing it back to Ethereum, because we always compare it to Ethereum, because we already talked about how Casper essentially is, Ethereum 2.0 and Ethereum 3.0 already. But it's not the idea that that's the only use case behind it. No, there's so much to it. We even see here Casper is not focused on one business sector. No, it's not focused on payments. It's not focused on banking or anything like that. It is focused on multiple use cases. We talked about the supply chain. We talked about the payments. We talked about what they are really kind of building behind closed doors. And of course, we do see here Casper is, gas futures market concept, right? By tokenizing block space to allow companies to buy future block space, Casper's gas model aims to allow its blockchain users to lock in prices now to have more predictable future network usage costs. This is 10 times bigger than anything that Ethereum has been doing. I've discussed this with even HBAR, where Ethereum, pretty much builders or developers essentially were switching from Ethereum to Hedera due to the unpredictable gas fees. It's a big call for concern. Now, in terms of Casper's rise, it's major move. And talking about HBAR, again, another tweet from Kevin Cage here, but Casper will rise 2022. Casper versus HBAR look, second pick, must see, third pick is my favorite. Casper versus TEL inverted chart from October. And here we have, again, Casper kind of making some gains here, pretty much making some moves. This was 14 cents here. And of course, here's the second photo of Hedera Hashgraph kind of ranging on a little bit. It kind of hits that little bit of a high. Could we come down and retest a little bit of the low? It's possible, but it kind of ranges a little bit more. Then we get that major influx, which, are we here or are we here for Casper? Most likely we are somewhere around this point on HBAR, which is around here. Now, I'm just saying, right now, if we do this massive move up, we will essentially be back to $1 range on Casper, which I've always said $4 to $7 is my conservative target points. They still remain my conservative target points. My risk-free target points are around the dollar range, but that is still some massive gains even from our points right now on Casper. Now, talking about Casper, like I've said, it is one of the strongest altcoins in the game right now, especially compared to Bitcoin. Most altcoins have taken a strong dip. XRP, HBAR, pretty much all the big names in the game have dropped significantly, and we do see here, it's showing Casper down at about 1477. In my mind, that is not too bad at all. I'd argue the fact that we didn't even dip below major support. We still have that support up here because we ranged back to it so quick. On the 4-hour span, yeah, sure. Did we find support there? Yeah. I mean, realistically speaking, you could say that support is around the 1509 centile range, which is totally fine if you want to call it that. It is also some major resistance going back to November 20th. So realistically speaking, we still look very strong in terms of the micro levels. On the macro levels, which is essentially the 1 day, that is still some major support and resistance, even going back to, like I said, the 17th and the 18th. It is still a little bit of, resistance going back a few days, but, we're really not seeing too much on the chart for this besides what we have traded in currently. But I will say this, on the Bitcoin pair, extremely strong. Really not too much breaking of support, and it looks like we are going to be retesting some significant levels. If we could retest these levels back in August 7th and August 8th, this is the prices that we will be seeing. 23 cents and 24 cents, hopefully, if we could kind of continue that strength on the Bitcoin pair. But we're waiting for that to actually have a validation point. But I will say this, we look extremely strong. And of course, here is the inverted chart from TEL to Casper. And just look at TEL, right? And look at the massive gains that we have done. And here is Casper. We're looking at, if we have this massive deep invert, okay, from our current level, we could be eyeing some major high targets. I mean, we're talking like $4 to $6.50 to possibly even $10 for Casper. And I've always said, with how strong this altcoin is, once Bitcoin starts to move yet again, it is going to be extremely bullish. And Bitcoin itself, we've talked about Bitcoin retesting that 53K level. I think that's extremely good for us. I think that's extremely healthy for the market. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the next major price action movements throughout this market as we do range into December. Of course, we've always expected a little bit of a dropping point in November, so it's nothing too concerning to me. And honestly, if you are holding Casper, you probably didn't even really recognize the dip all that much. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.